still trying to enhance our social
He's
media.
enhancing us. Hello, hello. Can you see us out there in TV streaming
So
Wonderland?
if anything goes wrong, blame the young guy because we're still trying to master that rotary phone. But I want to wish everybody a happy New Year. It's New Year's Eve, and don't tune out. We're not talking a repeat of our December 31st show. It's New Year's Eve because tomorrow is New Year's Day, April 16th.
Oh!
Steve's meds will kick in a few minutes. He'll be fine. But we've
You mean it's tax-free day?
Well, it's tax filing day. I don't think we're not tax-free yet. I believe most American citizens who pay taxes go to about April 30th. Again, the numbers have been coming down. I think it was May 21st at one time, then May 19th, and it keeps coming down. So it's around April 30th, so it doesn't quite harmonize with tax return day as opposed to tax freedom day, two separate concepts. But it is New Year's Eve, and I saw some interesting statistics from the accounting magazine today. Now that's an exciting publication.
I guess so. When I really want something stimulating, I read that.
The Accounting Association. It's that IRS is estimating 151 million tax returns will be filed, and as of April 6th, there were only 100 million tax returns filed. Then they estimated a boatload was supposed to roll in last week, and then through April 15th, they estimated another 20 million. So that means about 30 million people are getting extensions, including myself.
I was going to say, and how many million of those did you handle?
How many millions? That's why we're down in Ohio City on Lorraine Avenue. The snappy digs that we have. We have clients. We don't have that many clients. But yeah, it is April 15th. Tomorrow's April 16th. Tax Freedom Day rolls around April 30th. So all you people who love the federal government, keep paying your taxes so we can pay for more illegals, more abortions.
And we're going to put them in sanctuary cities.
More abortions, more bad roads, and a whole host of things. So you suckers keep paying those taxes.
Did you hear about the schlup down there in the Ohio House that when they were talking about the heartbeat bill, he wanted to put an amendment in there to exempt the black women from being the heartbeats, so that they can go ahead and abort still the black babies? Doesn't he understand that was the whole purpose?
Of Planned Parenthood.
Of Planned Parenthood, yeah.
Sanger was for eugenics and those kind of things.
There's a reason that the black population is only 13%.
So who was this degenerate proposing this?
I'd have to look it up again. I just couldn't believe it.
Wow. Wow, that's really bizarre.
We'll find that, though. We'll have that on the second hour.
So he wanted those women exempted from the heartbeat provision because obviously, what was he trying to say? Black babies don't count or what?
Yeah, well, basically, okay, if you detect the heartbeat of any other race than black at the heartbeat, then we're going to say you can't kill it. But if it's a black baby, I guess you could just go ahead and... Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
That's what you call a degenerate.
Yep.
It's George's favorite word.
I learned it from Dakota, so that's my favorite term. He's a degenerate. The other term I learned from Steve was a reprobate. So he's a reprobate degenerate.
Yes, he's...
Wow, we should get him on the show and ask him, what are you thinking, man? Because sometimes with some of these proposals, I seriously wonder, what are people talking about? What is their logical train of thought? And again, going back to the movie I saw, and by the way, we are going to be celebrating the Tea Party. We're going to have John McAvoy at 7:15 calling in from their event, I believe.
The Tea Party? Kids do that. You're talking about the Tea Party, taxed enough already party.
Well, it's the monikers taxed enough already or totally engaged Americans. So it is the 10th anniversary of the Tea Party movement. Again, that was 2009, April 15th.
Is that why you have your flag, your Gadsden flag?
Gadsden flag, that's the Don't Tread on Me flag. That was developed by Mr. Gadsden. I don't know his first name, so I'll just call him Mr. But
there you go.
It was very good. It was carved up. It's a rattlesnake carved into 13 pieces representing the 13 colonies that bring them all together. But the reason it was a rattlesnake, as John mentioned last Monday, was the eyes are always open and it's always poised, ready to strike.
It's ready to strike. So, and you participated in some of that over the weekend, didn't you?
Yeah, as much as possible. I was running around to different events, and I finally met up with you guys out in not Lake County, in Geauga County.
Geauga County.
Yeah, that was a great event.
Yeah, we had a couple events. We had one at Lake County at the Great Lakes Mall, where we stood on the freeway there, and we held up our signs and we held up our flags, and then we went out.
Most reactions were pretty good.
Absolutely. I'd say for every 100 cars that passed, we would get about 30 to 40 positive, either a thumbs up or a honk in their horn or something. And then we would have about 60 people, 60 cars that they're like deers in the headlight, you know, not sure. And then one or two where they
Degenerates.
were, yeah, degenerates, where they were either shouting obscenities out their car door window, or they were giving us their IQ on one of their index fingers.
One of their digit fingers.
Yeah, digit finger.
Yeah,
You know,
it
things
was-
like that.
yeah,
But I'd say for every 100 cars, and it was busy because it was a nice day.
Oh, beautiful.
30 to 40 positive responses, 1 or 2 negative responses, and about 60 kind of, what the heck are you doing?
Right. So yeah, John McAvoy, he's from, I believe, Toledo.
Yeah, I
Toledo
think
area?
he's up in Wood County, actually Lucas County,
Right.
and he's part of the Tea Party movement up there. He's one of the guys that started back at the beginning, and we're very excited to have him on. I've known John for a number of years now, and I know that he's calling in. I'm looking forward to him. They just finishing up a rally right now that they had from, I believe, 5 to 7 o'clock.
That's correct. That's correct. And also, the Portage County Tea Party is also having an event.
That's right, Tom Zawakowski.
Right, also out at the Maplewood Center. So, yeah, they did do the Tea Party movement. It started April 15th, which is always a bad day for accountants and tax preparers. But yeah, we were out there. And again, Steve, in the second half of the hour, we're going to have Melissa Atkinson, who is who ran for U.S. Senate.
Right.
In 2018.
In the
against,
primary,
against-
Republican primary.
against Mike Gibbons and Jim Renacci, and now she's exploring some other opportunities. But what an eloquent, dynamic woman. She's
Yep.
really great. I've heard her speak probably 3 or 4 times. And
Very powerful.
Just
And
tremendous.
she has a wonderful story to tell. And we're going to have her in right after the bottom of the hour.
Right, and then the second hour, we're going to talk about a variety of things. Things going on in Northeast Ohio. We have Dakota's constitutional moment, and then we also have the rumor mill is our
Rumor mill?
As our new
Oh,
segment.
no, a rumor?
We're going National Enquirer. We got some rumors.
I got one. Donald Trump said that his headquarters was bugged.
What?
Yeah.
Surprise, surprise. And you know, it's interesting when he always came out with these different things. He always turned out to be right. People would say, it's ridiculous.
How could that be?
Right. So we have our caller calling in, but we do still want to give out the general telephone number before we start engaging in dialogue here.
Absolutely. And I'd be remiss if I didn't say we have a founding sponsor as well.
Great.
And I'd like to send a thank you to Brian Hockenberry of Firelands Plumbing. They are in Erie County and in Huron County. So that's way over there in vacation land, Cedar Point, Sandusky, where I come from. So I just want to read this off to you real quick. Firelands Plumbing, call them for free estimates on basement waterproofing foundation repairs, because they will fix it right the first time. You will get a free lifetime warranty. Other companies charge for their warranties, but not at Firelands Plumbing. Now, if you're interested, you live in that area, call 419-734-6666. If that'd be the last call you make, waterproof your basement. That's 419-734-6666. That's Firelands Plumbing and Brian Hockenberry. We want to send you a very special thank you, founding sponsor, and we will be mentioning him many times in this segment. Now to the number. If you'd like to call in and be part of this exciting show tonight, because we do appreciate each and every one of you out there in listening land, call 216-901-0933 to be on the show. That's 216-901-0933. Or if you're across the nation, 888-677-9673. That's 888-677-9673.
Steve, thanks for garnering our first sponsorship, and I want to say we have a pretty good listener base out that way thanks to you and your efforts. I know you've been attending a lot of meetings, promoting the show, giving out flyers, call-in numbers, sending out email blasts to your list, and since you're from that part of the state, I usually when I go out there, I always feel I need a passport because I'm just going out to the different part of the state. But
Well, speaking of that, Dakota's saying that we should have a Cedar Point Day, and I think you agreed to maybe come out once you get back from vacation.
I'm going on a business trip to Europe. Thank you.
Oh,
Steve.
business trip. Business trip. Well, then you could come to vacation, and I have vacation afterwards.
Last year I went to Europe. I had so many meetings. I passed out on the plane, and when I got home, I had to sleep for 2 days because just meeting after meeting. We had some, have some good clients out there with distributorships and subsidiaries, and also some outsourced activities out with computer services. So it was quite good. It was quite fun. But we probably in 3 weeks or less than 3 weeks, we probably drove about 4,500 kilometers. It's about 3,000 miles. So it was good. It was fun. And we had a great time, but it was busy, but very stimulating. But
Wonderful.
we digressed a little bit. We have John McAvoy on line one. Hey, John, welcome to Monday Night Roundtable with George Satari, Dakota Sawyer, and Steve Krause. How you doing?
Great. Glad to have you, John. And I don't know if you're being able to watch, but we got our Gadsden flag flying here in the studio.
Now, John, you've been active with the Tea Party since day one. Or, okay, but you're an original Tea Party activist.
No.
Sounds like all of us, but you know what they say, if you're not doing what you need to do, you're not having fun, and if you don't have enemies, you're not doing it right. So, right. So you had a good event. Did you have any speakers, or was it just waving the flag and standing, promoting the Tea Party to the citizens? Right, many times we just get lip service, but we have to watch out for those people who tell us one thing and do another, and are all kissy, nicey, nice, are all Joe Biden with us, and when the time comes to vote, they're either cozy up to the swamp, the sewer, give us lip service, and move on for their own interests. Or whether they're Democrat or Republican, people who love our country, love our Constitution, want to do the right thing. Sometimes we differ by degree, but the problem is with the new crowd of people creeping into the body politic is we don't disagree with them by degree. We disagree with them by kind. They're not our kind of people. They don't love the country. They don't love the Constitution. They don't respect the Constitution. They want to turn our country into something else, namely their version of a nonsensical socialist paradise. So differences of degree where people of goodwill can disagree is one thing, but differences of kind, that gets worrisome. Right, yeah, there's many great organizations out there, and, my goal is to have them all work together. And, we agree 80-90% of the time, and we should work together. Divided we stand, and together we stand, divided we fall. But obviously, I think Tom Z out in Portage County. He put out a little list last week about all the things that the Tea Party supported, and many things that got and need to be celebrated. Let me give you that list partially here, but just want to point out, as John mentioned, there's a lot of different groups out there, whether you're working with the Lake County Liberty Coalition, chapters of the John Birch Society, the other Tea Party chapters, 912, the Heritage Club, a wonderful group out in Lake County, another one. There's many things to celebrate, and the Tea Party started in 2009, but in 2010 already, they helped, along with other conservative movements, elect 63 new U.S. House members to stop the Obama leftist agenda. New 9 Republicans in 2014, defeated IRS after they targeted the Tea Party, stopped the Gang of Eight amnesty, exposed illegal immigration for the threat it is to America, got taxes cut for all Americans through our representatives that got elected in 2010 and 12 and 14, cut business regulations, defend religious freedom, defending our sacred Second Amendment right, encouraged fracking and made America an energy powerhouse, and it just goes on and on. So there's so many good things that people don't realize what we've stopped and what has taken place. But the fight is always there, and tell us a little bit more what your group is doing out in Wood County in that way.
To put an issue on the Ohio ballot that would pretty much neuter the electoral college in the state of Ohio.
Yeah, absolutely.
We actually got a pretty early jump on that. It was almost like when they went to the Attorney General with the language, it was like, we knew that they would approve it before they did, and we immediately started getting the word out to conservative groups, and I think the fact that they were going to see some opposition to that movement, to that issue, might have been a contributing factor in them withdrawing that issue or late last week from the ballot. So that was kind of a win, even though it was actually a pretty big scare. Some of the other stuff we're doing up here in the northwest of Ohio, we're very active in local politics. We actually have a federal PAC that we started here back about 10 years ago. So the federal PAC is we're able to delve in any election, from dog catcher and issues all the way up to the presidential election. So that's been a great help. We use that PAC as a funding arm for political action where, for instance, I noticed that the last election cycle, there's a big issue with spending $285 million to build a new jail in Toledo, which they really don't need. So we worked very closely with a lot of local conservative organizations here. We were actually able to defeat that not only once in November, but they had a special election here in February, and we defeated it again. So there's two strikes against this jail, and I guarantee they will not bring this issue up again because the voters have spoken twice. And those are the kinds of things that the activity, the level of activity that the organization can become involved in.
Yeah, those kind of things are great because at a certain point the citizenry have to realize, as you say, we're taxed enough already. If you don't need a jail, then it just becomes a boondoggle. It's creating unnecessary bureaucracy, unnecessary paperwork. It might be a favor to special contractors. Who knows, what's layered into there. Because big government needs to be slowed down. needs to, be cut back a little bit, needs to be curtailed, taxes need to be cut, and, limited government needs to start reigning supreme again because we just have too many things going on. Just, John, just to get back to the Electoral College for a minute, I don't see how the people of Ohio would vote. I couldn't even understand if anybody would vote for that to dilute our vote and to prostitute our votes in Ohio and allow the majority of the voters to take our sacred electoral votes because numbskulls in the West Coast and the East Coast became the majority, and we have to kowtow to them and give our vote to them because they were the majority of the voters. Why would these voters of Ohio do something that stupid? I couldn't even understand. But I'm glad it's not on the ballot. I just had to, make a comment about that. I think it would have been easy to defeat because it's just so stupid. Basically, my electoral vote, my vote for electors, is being prostituted out to the majority of the wackos out on the East Coast and the West Coast. Because if you take away the wackos on the East Coast and the West Coast, President Trump won the majority of the votes. So.
Yes, and that was one of the taglines that we were using for that was, if you vote yes for this, then basically you make your presidential vote irrelevant. Because it would be irrelevant if the electoral college was required to cast their votes based on national popular vote rather than what the Ohio vote is.
Right, to cast it based upon the majority of the votes nationwide, which would be a total dilution of the Electoral College and our Republican form of government. So, Steve, do you have any more questions? We're
Yeah.
coming to the bottom of the hour. We have a few more minutes before we have our next guest. And John, again, we want to thank you for all your work, but I think Steve has a question to you.
Hey, John, great to have you on. And I just got a comment and then a question. I got my start with the Tea Party back in 2009. They actually came to me and asked me to start coming to a couple of meetings, and that's how I got involved with running for Congress, and that's how I met you the first time in 2011. But in 2014, and Tom Zawakowski even talks about it in the list of accomplishments there, is that the Tea Party was one of the few groups that actually supported me in my run for state representative there in Erie and Ottawa County, and we defeated the chairman of the Ohio Democrat Party, Chris Redfern, when nobody saw it coming. And that was really on the shoulders of the Tea Party and Congressman Jim Jordan, who supported me as well, and then a few other Republican women's group in Erie County and also in Ottawa County. But my hat's off to the Tea Party, because when they do get in gear, I mean, they are very, very effective. And I just was, to follow up with a question, I know what our response was over here in Lake County of drivers going by. I didn't know if you heard that or not, but we were out there on Saturday with signs and with the flag, and we saw that for every 40 cars, out of 140 that would honk their horn, we would get about one or two that would give us their IQ with the middle finger, and then there was about 60 cars that would go by that were just deers in the headlights. So how was your reaction?
I don't think we get quite the negative as you may have seen, but we had a lot of drive-bys that could awful to the point where the honking the horn, the people drive by waiting for some of the distraction of speakers because we're fairly close to the road. But it's encouraging when we see that, because as I mentioned to the groups when I was speaking, one of the challenges that the Tea Party group leaders face is sometimes we often are under the impression that we're out there fighting this battle by ourselves. And I use the example, we're out there on the battlefield swinging our swords, and then we stop for a moment, turn around, and there's nobody behind us. Sometimes that's disheartening, but it's not always true. I mean, there's always someone behind us. We may not be able necessarily to see him, but it seems like there's always people back there assisting us with the battle and helping us fight this battle. And I encourage any leader or group leader that finds himself in this mindset or this predicament. I always say, you know what, if you and I
Absolutely.
It's our responsibility to lead, but we also have to be out there fighting, and that's, if we don't do this, I don't know who else will.
Right, as they say, we need more pullers at the oars, and we could get a lot more done, but we've gotten a lot done, and we just continue to do what we need to
And
do.
save the republic.
Exactly, this isn't, this isn't, because we got nothing better to do.
That's
It's
right.
something we have to do, we must do, we can do, and we should do. But John, we thank you for calling in, but before we go to our break, I'd like to ask you, how does one get involved with your group? Do you have a website, or what do you suggest people do? Hey, John, thank you for that info. Thanks for
Thanks,
the call,
John.
and hopefully we'll be circling back in the next couple weeks, 2, 3, 4 weeks, and see what else is going on now that the summertime is coming and people are getting out and about with festivals, parties, booths, fairs. It's time to get the message out. Hey, John, again, thanks a lot, and good luck in the future endeavors out on the western part of the state. Thanks, John. Okay. All right.
Thank you.
We'll go to a little break, and then we'll be back with Melissa Atkinson, who's calling in on a variety of topics.
Hey. Hey. Love that music.
Yeah.
Hey, we just want to give a special shout out to Firelands Plumbing in Huron and Erie counties. They are our newest, our very newest founding sponsor. And have you got a problem with the leaky basement?
Actually, I do need some plumbing issues addressed. So that's
Absolutely. Or have you ever had a backed up toilet?
I'm sorry, I can't discuss confidential client information. So,
Well, let me tell you, if you've got problems, they have solutions. You can call Firelands Plumbing for free estimates on basement waterproofing, foundation repairs. They fix it right the first time. They're going to also give you a free lifetime warranty. Now, other companies, they're going to charge you for their warranties, but Firelands Plumbing do not. So I would not delay. I would call Brian today at the owner of Brian Huckenberry. Thank you. He is a founding member of this
the advertising
show. He loves freedom. His number is 419-734-6666. That is 419-734-6666. It's Firelands Plumbing. You will find him at www.firelandsplumbing.com. I would call him today, 419-734-6666.
And Steve, you know what they say, if you got good plumbing in your house and you got good plumbing in your body, that things are okay all around. It's a wonderful.
It's a good day.
It's a wonderful day. So we got to have both of those in order. This is Monday Night Roundtable with George Satari. We're back in the second half of the first hour, on from 7 to 9 Monday evenings. Let me give out that telephone number, 216-901-0933. Again, locally, 216-901-0933. Toll free, 888-677-9673. 888-677-9673. Our next guest this evening will be Melissa Atkinson. I've heard her speak several times, mostly at the McFan, the Medina County Friends and Neighborhoods group.
Powerful
And, she's a powerful speaker, very articulate, very passionate on the pro-life issue. We'll talk a little bit about that. And again, this weekend I went to see the movie Unplanned for the second time, and it was even more moving the second time. I do plan to see it a couple more times because I go with different groups, friends, church groups, people who are, not necessarily on the fence, but don't really understand the full implication of the issue and all the different aspects to it. So,
an interesting point was brought up, speaking on the movie, that a 15-year-old girl, because it's rated R, can't see the movie without parental consent, but 15-year-old girl can go in and have an abortion without parental consent.
Yeah, it's really absurd. It's we've come to a situation where the absurdity outranks the logic and reason.
Yes.
But let me welcome Melissa Atkinson to the program. Good evening, Miss Melissa, and welcome to Monday Night Roundtable with George Satari, Steve Krause, and Dakota Sawyer.
Good to be with you guys. Thanks for having me on this evening.
Thank you. We've heard you speak many times, and we're impressed with your dedication, your passion, your ability to articulate the issues of the day. So, we sort of have a free-for-all forum. Anything that you'd like to discuss specifically, or anything that you've come across in your travels in the great state of Ohio. I know you have a small announcement on a exploratory thing that you may be looking at, but I open the floor to you, and tell us what's on your mind this evening.
Several things, but the first big break I talked about, and I was reaching out on
Yes.
It's wonderful. Amen.
Right, and we could thank Governor DeWine for signing that bill. Obviously, many of us were not happy with him on the gas tax, but this is, I'd say, fundamentally much more important than 15 cents on the gas. But that's important from an economics. But this is so much more important from a social, cultural point of view that, unlike his predecessor, Governor Kasich, he signed it without hesitation. And obviously, we all know it's going to go to the court and then the Supreme Court. So it'll be several years before it's potentially in effect. But it's a start. We have to take the fight to the good fight to the people and show them what's right and show them what's wrong. Right.
For me, it was really incredibly important. I talked about this often. A couple of things that really my people of whomever it was that ended up with Ukraine. So many folks coming out of the campaign trail. Really trying to do everything that I could to help them from the media perspective. I developed debate, their family, and I think they're really good people. And what I thought
Oh, yes.
Right, and what happens at the party level is, again, we're always for healthy competition, and there was a great spirited race between Renee C. Gibbons and yourself. But again, fundamentally, we're not enemies. We believe in the republic. We believe in freedom, and it's competition. And I agree that unless the victor is like a socialist or something, but then we need to come together because, as you mentioned, Sherrod Brown was just so egregious that he had to go. And I think if the party would have committed the funds to Jim Renacci that they committed to him when they enticed him to jump from the governor's race, Jim Renacci probably could have won that race once Sherrod Brown would have been thoroughly exposed.
I agree with you, but water under the bridge and what we do right now is we harness the energy that we have left in us and we live to fight another day. So after the primary again, I remain public and continue the radio circuit. One of the influences during that primary, I ended up becoming pretty close friends with, and it was Diane and John Stewart. They're probably
Absolutely.
Oh yes.
Ohio value voters.
Right, yeah, it's a good group, and they're very well versed in the issues. And I know Diane will be speaking at McFadden, I believe, in 2 weeks, and that we'd like to have her on the show because she just has a wealth of information on some of the topics that are going on in Ohio and the schools, the churches, et cetera.
Believe it or not, we've been able to form a pretty good, have a pretty good gig going with Ohio value voters. I took a sense of loyalty to them for the help that they gave me in the primary. And quite frankly, over time, we ended up becoming friends. And they just, they're a part of my life and they're great people. And I appreciate the work that they do. Because at the end of the day, people like Diane and John Stewart, they don't need to be doing this. They could be living in retirement, they could be traveling back and forth to Arizona,
No, I heard about it. And we had talked about it. I think at McFan, I didn't know where it went because, as you say, I'm not that engaged on social media. But my question would be, what would the public reactions be if it were? I think this child was 11 years old, an 11-year-old or 9-year-old girl dancing in bikinis in a strip club. I mean, obviously we'd all be outraged by that, and they thought this was cool. The little boy dressing up that way and dancing at what you said 2-3 o'clock in the morning at some event, or I don't know if it was a bar or a club or some. Oh. Enough's enough. Yeah, it's ridiculous. But interesting enough, or sadly enough, I believe the same thing happened in New York, and the little child was paraded and lauded on the Today Show for a national audience. It just boggles the mind. I can't even imagine a parent doing that to their child, degrading them and turning them into, and parading them in front of degenerates. I mean, it's ridiculous. But this needs to be exposed more fully. I think somebody like 60 Minutes or somebody, this would make an interesting segment anyhow, or a great segment to look at this and dial back some of the things that are going back if somebody truly took an interest, because this is, the converse would be some 11-year-old girl, 9-year-old girl bikini dancing in a strip club. Right. Now, Melissa, just to go back to the threats that came against you. Well, first of all, what was the media coverage? Was obviously not positive in your favor. They thought this was cool or something important, or we should promote because it's cool and new and hip. Or did the news media have some of the, I mean, you're out in the smaller areas where the local newspapers should be smaller community newspapers like Mayberry, and they should be taking the side of righteousness and correctness. Did they do that, or was it pretty much just attacked by the big papers like the Toledo Blade, if at all?
What I utilize were all of the conservative radio stations, so your Bob Francis, your Chuck Douglas, the guys that have, some of those major media out there, Princeton County, Cuyahoga. I mean, I made sure to use the conservative resources and outlets that I had, and we just hit it hard. Tom Robbins show, and after that, I used all of my connections and, most of the reporters, of course, they're left leaning. They were privately, and through the investigative process, they couldn't believe this was happening, and how did we get to this place? But when it came to actually airing the story, and the drag queen organization saying, this is because this is, LGBTQ initiative, and suddenly they completely dropped the story, and there was nothing else. They saw the videos that I saw, out there saw, but when the pressure was on, the story quietly went away. So frankly, if it weren't for shows like this, if it weren't for shows like Tom Robbins and Bob France and Chuck Douglas, these conservative fellows that are out there in the news, folks wouldn't have known about it.
Right, and it's interesting that they view it as an LGBTQ issue. I mean, this has to do with children, if an exploitation, and the parents were making money on this. So it's amazing how quickly they cave to the gay LGBTQ agenda when even when things are really not kosher, they just cave because these people are so pushy and these people never sleep and they're always fighting for an agenda. But it's just interesting that their biggest driver is sexual perversion. It's not my job, or I mean it's not my job. It's not this, that, other than going to church or raising a family. It's always being titillated and just focusing on perverse things. It's just amazing.